Hi, Stephanie Abrams here, dashing through the airport. I'm going on an adventure. I've got my backpack, I've got my laptop, I've got my traveling shoes on. Come along with me.
ξένα πουλί θα γίνω και θα έρθω πάλι κοντά σε σένα.
I am thrilled to be where I am, and where I am is with the Acropolis over my shoulder in Athens, Greece.
We're excited to be here as Homeric, if I may say. We brought along an incentive group, as you may know, from New York, and there's about 50-60 people here right now, and they are just absolutely thrilled with Greece. They absolutely love it, absolutely love it. They are so, I don't even know how to describe how they're feeling, but we're looking forward to going to Mykonos tomorrow. We're going to be in Mykonos for 3 nights at the San Marco Hotel, so come see us there also. And then from there we go on a beautiful 4-day cruise to the Greek Islands.
On Celestyal Cruises.
On Celestyal Cruises, that's right. Refurbished ship, beautiful itinerary, Ephesus, Patmos, Rhodes, Crete, Santorini, and then back to Athens. Monica is the brains behind the incentive group that we have. I've been working very, very closely with her for the last almost year, and she's been the real go-getter for it.
The name of my travel agency is Nick Lugo Travel. Located in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Everything in here is so beautiful.
Yes,
okay,
perfect.
that you have to. I don't know what to say, but in reality, the weather, the people,
the food.
This group is being like a wow. Everything is beautiful.
Is this the first time you've worked with Homeric Tours, or have you worked with them before?
This is the first time that I work with Homeric Tours.
How did you come to choose them?
Let me tell you, I feel very comfortable in all the aspects. Everything is being with no problem, okay? Since I started working with John, I ask everything that I want, and it's been like 1, 2, 3. So I give the credit to John and Homeric Tours.
And you know, he is very well deserving.
Oh, definitely.
And so is the company.
Now I'm blushing.
Who I know. I mean, I know John forever. I know John from the 1980s when he worked for Olympic Airlines.
Yeah.
And he used to call on me at my company. And so we did a lot of fancy footwork work together. And then when he moved to Homeric and made a home there, you know, we just tagged along for the ride, because every army has soldiers and guns and bullets, but the difference between one army and another is the soldier. And it's the same thing with companies you work with, you know?
Yes.
Even with hotels. Every hotel, they have an elevator, they have rooms, they have beds. The difference between one place and another always comes down to the people.
Right.
Definitely. Definitely,
Service,
definitely.
service, service.
Yes.
That's it.
Totally.
And, you know, and like backstage at the opera, where nothing's going right, but you in the audience don't know that because there are stage managers back there and they're fixing everything. The curtain's not opening, the costume is ripped. But when they come out on stage, you just see a beautiful performance, you have no idea. And that's one of the reasons it's so important to choose an exceptional tour operator to work with, because they're the ones that are going to go out there and just make all the bumps in the road smooth, and then the passengers arrive and everything is just glorious. And you don't know what they went through.
Exactly, exactly.
That's
totally
so true.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah, well,
Totally right.
I come from inside the business, so I get it.
Yes.
It's not perfect because life is perfect.
Right.
And when you think about it, to get one passenger from point A to point B, even without checked luggage, just going for a day trip, takes about 10,000 people working together to make that happen. So imagine moving 50, 60 people across an ocean who are going to have a land stay in 2 different places and a cruise experience and get everything to go and roll through. There are people masterminding every moment and every detail. That's why it's so important to work with people you have confidence in. And I've always had confidence in John and Homeric. So.
And believe me, and me too. For now on, I'm going to be like you are, San John.
Oh, St. John.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
It'll get to my head. Don't do that.
The ego's already big.
This is only for the interview.
Oh, wow.
Monica de la Cruz.
Honey, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, and I look forward to seeing more of you, and we're going to sit down together and talk about you and your business and these people and everything in the days ahead of us.
We'll do
I'm
that.
so glad I'm here, John.
Thank you.
You stay with me. You're coming along for the trip. You have no idea how happy I am at this moment. Firstly, I'm in Greece, much to be happy about. Secondly, I'm in Mykonos, thrilling to be happy about. Thirdly, there's a festival going on in the Seaport Harbor just outside the doors behind me, and those doors are in the office of the Mayor of Mykonos. Does it get better than that? I don't know how. And so I am with Mayor Konstantinos Koukas. Good?
Welcome, great.
So let's talk a bit first of all. Where were you born?
I was born in Athens, but my parents come from Mykonos. I lived in Mykonos for all my life. I did school here. Then I was out of Mykonos for studies, and I'm back now, 8 years.
Where did you go to study?
I studied in Greece. I have 2 bachelor's and 2 master's degrees.
In what?
Humanities, law, European studies, and tourism industry.
Oh my word, what drew you to tourism?
Everybody living in Mykonos has to do with tourism, so I needed, apart the fact that I live the tourism everywhere, I wanted to study its theory. That's why I did a master in the tourism industry.
You know, that is so wonderful. And for those of you who are in places where either tourism is very important or you have touristic things that people should be coming to see, visiting you, wonderful industry. People come, they visit, they smile, they boost up your economy, they leave money behind and they go home. They don't use your schools, they generally don't use your hospitals, they generally don't use your police departments. It's wonderful. And yet, in most places in the world, the people in government who make the decisions about budgets, when they're looking for money for some department, agency, or division of government, they'll take the money out of tourism. And I get on the air and talk about how that's such a not good thing to do, because this is such an important industry, and particularly in a place like Mykonos. Where did public service come into this?
Since I decided to return to Mykonos after my studies, my last stop was in the European Parliament. I was working within the European Parliament in Brussels.
Wow.
And at a certain point I decided to return in Mykonos because I felt that I wanted to be useful to my island, to my family. Since I returned, with other people that we share the same values, we, let's say, decided that we didn't like how the island was ruled. So, first of all, we started discussing it, and then we created a party. Then we ran for the elections, and the rest is
And then
history.
you won.
The rest is history.
Bravo!
Thank you.
Bravo!
It started because we didn't like people that they were representing us. Not that they were bad, they are good, but
Another point of view.
another point of view, another generation.
Well, you know, clearly you picked paradise to live in. You could have been in a lot of places. I mean, there are a lot of wonderful places in Greece, but when it comes to an amazing lifestyle, this beats being in any city.
Mykonians, we are blessed living in this place because Mykonos is a wonderful place. Because of the tourism industry, as you mentioned before, the average of life is good. I speak in terms of well-being. But I didn't choose it. Destiny
It chose you.
chose me.
What is it you want them to know about Mykonos? Why do they need to put Mykonos on their must-visit list?
Mykonos is not just a destination. Mykonos is an experience. It is an island, a small island, a rocky one, in the heart of the Aegean, which has tourism since 80 years now. And this is not by luck, it is because it worked. We have wonderful sandy beaches. We have the ancient island of Delos next to Mykonos that everybody must visit. And Mykonos nowadays, it has great services. I speak about the hotels, the restaurants, the shops, the services that the island and the companies provide to the visitor are unique for sure in the whole Greece. That's why Mykonos is well known for the high-end customers, and it is the most wanted destination nowadays, probably in the whole Mediterranean. Not by luck, we're worth it. And I'm sure that if your fans decide to visit Mykonos, I promise them that they won't regret it.
And I can second that motion. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come right back and continue to talk with Konstantinos Koukas.
Bravo.
We'll be right back. Please don't go away. There's so much more to come. I am delighted to be in the office of the Mayor of Mykonos. And if you look at the islands of Greece as gems in a tiara, this is the diamond in the middle, the centerpiece of the islands of Greece. So while you'll want to come to Greece and visit many islands, what you'd want to make sure you do is include not just a stop in Mykonos, but a stay in Mykonos. If you come by ship and you get to spend the day, you're going to feel like you had an hors d'oeuvre, and you're going to need to return to have the dinner, because you can't experience Mykonos completely in one day. And you need to be able to soak up the charm, the atmosphere, and get to meet the people. And it's hard to do that when you just make a port of call for a day and you're off to somewhere else. Wonderful way to visit, maybe the first time. And while you're there, start planning your return trip. How do most people arrive in Mykonos?
The most people arrive by plane. Actually, we have also a lot of people visiting the island with the cruise ships. Almost 700,000 people per year visit the island with a cruise ship. The rest are coming by plane, and some they travel with ferries from Athens or other
I love
islands.
the ferry. I love the fast ferry. I love the ferry. It's like a miniature cruise.
Yes, but in case you travel from abroad and you land in Athens from an international flight, maybe it's more
You're already in the
convenient.
airport.
It's more convenient to take the
Make the
domestic
connection
flight.
and go.
Although that Mykonos has an international airport connected with many capitals of Europe, and now from 2018 we also have a direct connection with Doha with Qatar Airways.
What are some of the major cities? For instance, could you fly here from Dublin or
From
London?
Mykonos, you can fly to London, to Paris, to Barcelona, to the most cities of Italy,
Frankfurt?
to Vienna, Frankfurt of course, Berlin, Beirut, Istanbul, Scandinavian countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been in airports connecting on my way somewhere else. and seeing Mykonos come up on the, you know, this gate is being announced, and wanted to change my plans on the spot. I love this place.
The visitors of Mykonos are the best ambassadors of it. People like you, that they come here and they see the island, they understand the vibe of the island and the ambience of it, then they become the best ambassadors.
Yeah, well, and that's, you know, such a valuable tool. But you didn't know you were talking to a goddess, I think.
No.
No, I received, well, I've twice received the Goddess Artemis Award, and the organization had to change their bylaws to do it because you're only supposed to be allowed to receive it once in your lifetime. But I received the Goddess Artemis Award from the Euro-American Women's Council and the Hellenic Parliament, and a citation from the Mayor of Athens, which I still have because it came rolled up in this velvet royal blue tube. It's beautiful. And I got, at that time, this was in 2010, a recognition from the Mayor of Mykonos, but I don't know what happened to that paper because it wasn't in a tube. So the other one I have in my den, and I don't know where the other paper went to. It's a shame.
From the Euro-American Council of Women.
Yes, yes. And so there was an induction after receiving the award at the Zabian Megaron in Athens. There was an induction into the Euro-American Women's Hall of Fame on Delos, in front of the lions. So you go to my website, and you
we received
see the picture.
We received last September members of the Council of the Euro-American.
Oh, very nice.
And I also met them, the president, I think,
Lula.
I met her last month in Washington, D.C. I was in Washington, D.C., and I had the opportunity to meet
very
Lula.
nice. Well, that's where I got my second award, on Capitol Hill.
Wow.
Yes, it was actually presented to me by New York Representative Carolyn Maloney. Many of you may know her because
She's excellent.
Yeah.
I also met her.
Yeah, but that was, I was trying to see if I could remember how many times I have been to Mykonos, and it's somewhere close to 10. This is probably like, this is either number 10 or 11.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, you know, you talk about Greek people in general are very warm. They're very receptive. They make you feel part of the family from the moment you meet them. And I have friends to this day that, you know, somebody I just met while we were in Greece, and we keep in touch constantly, continually. It's really quite incredible. But I just had an interesting little experience waiting for our meeting. Sitting at that table where you saw me at the Vigero restaurant, seaside seafood restaurant here. And we had a wonderful Greek salad before we came here, so I wasn't hungry. And I wasn't even thirsty. But I knew we had to meet, and I didn't know how long I'd be waiting till we connected. And so I sat down at this table, and when the fellow Nicholas came by, I said, I hope you don't mind if I sit here. This is a prime piece of real estate, that table. Right there at the front by the edge of the sea, where this music festival is about to begin. And I'm going to tell you that not only in the US, but in many other countries in the world, would have been told, if you're not planning to order something, please vacate this table. That would have happened somewhere else. Because
easily.
They would have thrown, there was no, I was waiting for him to tell me, you know, we really need the table, thank you. Could you find yourself another place to park yourself? And what Nicholas said to me was, no problems. Would you like something to drink? I said, just a glass of water. Fine, sit, enjoy. He had no idea who I was. He had no idea who I was meeting. You know, I was just some stray dog that came along, sat down at the table. And I was treated like a member of the family who came to sit in the dining room. And I mean, that's very impressive and very typical of the welcome reception you get from the people in Greece, and particularly the people in Mykonos. You know, that it really blew me away because I was fully prepared to have to get up and move. And now just sit, enjoy. And then I let him know who I was. Because, you know, one of the wonderful lessons people need to learn in this world, you never know who you're talking to.
And in Mykonos, we really act like it.
Yes.
Because you never know who is next to you.
That's it. I'm hoping that our microphones are sensitive enough that you're picking up the wonderful music that you're hearing from the other side of the doors of the mayor's office. And there are French doors here that open out onto a balcony, and we would have done this interview out there, but you know, when you're beside the sea, there's always a wonderful breeze. And so it's a little too breezy, and we would have picked up a lot of noise. Can we get the door open? Ah. Can you hear? So there's folkloric singing and dancing and wonderful costumes, and not only are there people that are in the age group that you think of as dancers, teenagers through people in their 30s, but there are older people dancing and there are children dancing, and they are so sweet. They look like little angels, you know, in their wonderful folkloric costumes. How often are there festivals going on here at the seaport?
We try to have our island vibrant 365 days per year, and this is among the priorities we have. The island to be live during the year for each citizen, first of all, and then for our visitors. So almost every weekend we try to have festivals or conferences or things that people may attend, promoting the civilization and the culture of the island or meeting new cultures.
Well, let's talk about this idea of, yes, this is a place where people live year-round, from the point of view of what is here for that would draw the visitor, let's say, from November to April. Because in many destinations similar in climate and similar in lifestyle experiences for travelers, it's most of what goes on is May to October. So when you mention a longer year, is that something available now for the traveler, or is that something you're working toward?
The island mostly works from April, end of March to mid-November. The rest of the months, the climate is not that good indeed, so you are not able to visit the beaches, which the island is most famous for it. But you may always visit Delos Island, which is the largest open archaeological museum in Europe.
It's amazing. It's an amazing visit.
And during the winter months, you have the opportunity to see the real beauty of the island, because it's calmer, you know, the shops are closed, so you may enjoy the real picture.
Well, you know, I call that season from November to the end of March smart season, not low season, smart season. Because the smart traveler can take advantage of the laws of supply and demand. You have fewer people going, so prices tend to be lower. When you get where you're going, you have fewer people there, everybody has more time for you.
Indeed.
And so it's a very different experience to travel. And we do most of our travel between November and April for that reason, because we can do more. You know, you asked me a question earlier, were we here for business or pleasure or whatever? And I said to you, I don't know what a holiday is, because how could I come to Mykonos and visit with you, visit all the beautiful scenery, visit beautiful places, come to this folkloric music festival, and not share this with my audiences? How could I be so selfish to keep this to myself? So while I was sitting at that prime table at Vagara restaurant, right here at the seashore's edge, I was doing live Facebook so people could see what I was seeing. And all the dancers were coming in their costumes, waiting in groups to go and, you know, for the show to begin. And so, I mean, how do I do any of that? And I don't know how to not be working, really, but this is not like digging a ditch. So it's not the same kind of work that, you know, you usually associate the word work, but I couldn't leave you home and leave you out. You have to come with me wherever I go. So, and it's such a pleasure to be here. This building clearly has some history to it, and I'm looking at the molding and the gilt work and the way it's painted and, you know, the archway, the architecture of this building. Is there a history behind this building?
Yes, indeed. It was built in 1770.
Wow.
So it's a very old building. During that time, the islands of the Aegean Sea were ruled from the Russian emperor. So this building was a consulate of the Russian emperor
Wow.
of the time.
Wow.
So it's a historical building.
So of all the things on this island, if you met somebody, you said you were in Washington DC, and you met somebody, and they had never been to Mykonos, and you said, oh, you must come. And they said, okay, well, we could fit this into an upcoming trip and maybe we could come for 3 or 4 days. What would you make sure they experienced while they were here for that period of time?
Mykonos Town, Anomera Village, Delos Island, and any of our wonderful beaches.
Okay, start from the beginning. Explain what makes Mykonos Town special.
Mykonos Town, it's a white town, a pedestrian city. It's like, it's something unique. It's an organization, a live organization, which is very nice, very traditional to walk. And nowadays it has great shopping, great restaurants.
It's always had great shopping.
Yeah.
Fabulous shopping.
Always. Yeah.
I can show you the cufflinks I bought for my husband
It's
on every trip.
It's an experience being part of the Mykonos city. And then we have the windmills, the Little Venice. I suppose that your fans will see videos and pictures from you.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. And I'll tell you something else about the shops. You will see things you don't see anywhere else in the world. You know, I was saying to somebody yesterday, again today, we have beautiful jewelry in the US. We have fine quality gold. We have fine quality diamonds imported from somewhere or wherever. We don't have the artistry. The artistry of Greek jewelry is incredible. Just incredible. And I have to warn you, if you come to the shopping area here and you meander in all these little streets and it's like a maze, little streets winding and winding, you see something in a store and you like it, buy it when you see it. Don't think about it, you'll come back later, because you're never going to find the shop again, because it truly is like walking in a maze in circles in little tiny winding streets. If you've ever been in St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the shopping center there, the way it winds and winds, same story. So when you see it, you love it, treat yourself to it. And you know those kinds of souvenirs are the best ones because you wear it all the time, you use it all the time. Whatever it is, every time you look at it, it brings back the wonderful memory and the value of the experience that you had when you were both in Greece and in Mykonos. What was the second place you said? Anna something?
Anomera Village.
What is that?
The only village we have in Mykonos is a village of Anomera. Although Mykonos is a cosmopolitan center, we also have a village, a traditional village, a Greek traditional village, in the middle of the island. So it's a village with tavernas, with a center with a monastery. So you can see a different picture from Mykonos if you go to Anomera.
I have to do this tomorrow because I'm sure we have driven by it more than once and never stopped. Because wherever we are, we're on our way to something.
Exactly.
So here, yes, absolutely. I've been through all of this, including back in the days when there was a big, giant pelican as tall as my husband, and I think his name was Spiros.
It's Petros, and we still have it.
Is that the same one? The one I know died years ago.
How do you know? You have a death certificate.
Yeah, well, there was a story. There was another island that was jealous of your pelican.
I will give you a book with the story of it.
This pelican, I brought my son here, and he was about 14 years old. He'll never forget the pelican. This pelican was at least this tall, and when you would sit down it had to be standing at the top of its head. It had to be 4.5 feet tall. It was big, giant pelican. And it would come up to your table if you were having something to eat by the side of the sea. It would walk up and it would stand there like, aren't you going to give me something? Like, you know, your dog begging at the table. Sweetest thing. I mean, that was... So there's still one walking around or no?
The pelican is
no more.
We have a pelican.
Oh, I have to get to see it. You know, I need
you
at
have
least
to
one
search
photo.
for it.
Keep walking around and I'm going to find
Exactly.
it. Oh, you promise?
Yes.
Well, I have to tell you, this has been a delight. Is there a special message you would like to leave with our audiences?
I would like to invite everyone to visit our island. And as I said before, Mykonos, it's not another destination. Mykonos, it's an experience that since you decide to live it, you won't regret it. But you will start repeating it. Please give us a chance to show you our island.
Ah, yes. You know the most difficult thing about being in Mykonos? leaving it. Thank you so much for making time on this busy day.
It was my pleasure.
We had a tough time connecting, but we did it.
We did, finally.
Yes, and special thanks to the folks over at Annex Resort and Spa who helped make the connection for us. So this was great. Thank you so very much. So much more. Don't leave me. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
When you're inside Athens and you're in the middle of the center with all of the traffic and all the craziness, and you look up and you have in front of you an Acropolis, that's something you don't get to see very often, and in many cities.
Oh, it's spine-tingling.
It's breathtaking.
I'll tell you what else is breathtaking and spine-tingling, and that's driving along and entering Annex Resort and Spa. This is a remarkable resort. How many total accommodations are there?
This year we have 45.
And are they all, the accommodation we're in is very villa-like. Are they all villa-like?
They're not villa-like because actually I don't even have villas here. My biggest rooms would be called two-bedroom suite. I just have very large rooms.
Well, no, but they're large
I had
rooms,
facilities.
So we have 2 levels.
Yeah, this was a very beautiful split shift maisonette that has a beautiful view from the top floor and a nice pool area on the ground floor. We made that split shift because I didn't want that room not to have the beautiful view. So if I had made it 2 separate rooms, it would have been, you know, the pool view, which wouldn't have the best view, and then a separate room that would have the sea view. So instead I tried to make it huge so that you got the best of both worlds. The rooms are nice size, and I try my best to make sure that they have the best view possible because this view is something else.
Oh,
I got very, very lucky with the location.
The view is spectacular, but not only is there a spectacular view, the accommodation itself is a melange of interesting, unique, decorative features. The glass around, well, this is very reminiscent of this piece. The glass around the mirror in the bathroom area. There's a trim that looks like this.
The same person made both of them.
You can see that with recessed lighting. Then the glass door of the shower has another piece of glass over it that gives you the same design that...
All of these designs that you see that are throughout the hotel are based on the whitewashed streets of Mykonos town. I tried to keep the hotel looking as much
I see that.
like the winding roads inside Mykonos town that Mykonos is so famous for. And that's why I have these shapes, because as a kid when I would come to Mykonos every summer, I couldn't wait to run through town to head down to the harbor for my Greek frappe coffee, which was the thing that everybody couldn't wait to come to Greece for, the Nescafe cold coffee. And those streets just pulled you. I mean, they did something to you that made you feel like you were in Greece.
Exactly. This is a place you must experience. To tell you that there are large, spacious rooms, accommodations, to tell you that there are accommodations with their own private pool, and not just a little, you know, dunky, splashy kind of dunk yourself in pool. Something with, you know, that's a decent size. To tell you that, you know, the colors and the feel of it is all very natural and light and airy doesn't even begin to explain this property. The place is just remarkable. And we had dinner here last night. And we arrived, it was already dark. It was late, you know, by the time we got here. And we went right to dinner, which was delicious, by the way.
You got to see the beautiful LED lights in the pool.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I
fought to get those lights in the pool.
Holy cow.
I had a mission.
You look out and you have this like triple pool area. There's like 2 freeform pools and a round pool in the middle. And as you look out, the lighting in the pools rotate from a light Aegean, Mediterranean aqua to a dark cobalt blue, and then back. And in the pools are it looks like somebody threw handfuls of diamonds, sapphires, emeralds, and rubies. And they're just dotting the whole way.
I love
It
those
is
pools.
just spectacular. Where did you come up with that idea?
I saw a picture of a company that does that now in Greece, and I met him, and he was pretty impressive because he actually comes and he places every single light inside the pool by himself.
Wow.
And it was a new phenomenon here. Maybe they have the LED lights in other places, but here on Mykonos there was only one other hotel that had these beautiful lights. And for the 3 winters before we completed the hotel, anytime I would travel on Aegean and would open the magazine, I would catch the one hotel that had these pictures. And I would very carefully fold the page, because you're allowed to take that magazine with you, and show it to my husband and say, if we ever finish Annex, I need these lights in the pool. And he's like, yeah, we'll see. They're very expensive. Nobody has them in Greece. So I worked on that for about 3 years and finally convinced him. And I put the owner of the company and my husband in touch, and they actually became friends. And he did a wonderful job. We have the infinity pools and the jacuzzi, which is the circle pool at the bottom, which are beautiful enough. But with these lights, it just made it a little bit better. And at night, it's very, very romantic.
Out of, did you say 45 accommodations?
I started with 35 the year that I opened, 2016. I built this past winter 10 more rooms, because at this point I'm working to improve. My goal is to be 50 rooms. I have them basically built. So if I have good seasons, I will continue, and then I stop there. I don't want it bigger than that.
Well, this makes it the perfect size for a corporation who wants to do an incentive trip to reward its best employees, its highest producing salespeople, those who brought the goals in on time or before time, those who have increased business, their best customers, the customers they're romancing. I mean, there's so many reasons why corporations go somewhere else, or to have a meeting in a place where the dust can settle and you get what I call the hula hoop idea, the quantum leap idea. The idea you are never coming up with sitting in your conference room or your office, because you're too distracted by every day, what I call the crisis of the day. So at less than 50 rooms at the moment, that's like the perfect size for a takeover, or for some benchmarking occasion like a destination wedding, or somebody's anniversary or birthday or something.
I have engagements, I have anniversaries, I have honeymoons, I have pretty much anything you can think of. But with 50 rooms, you can manage to have one-to-one service. You can take good care of your clients. They understand that there's somebody around who cares. Sometimes when the hotels get too big, you lose that. So at this point, and if we stayed at 45 rooms, I would be satisfied with that, because I feel like it's very controllable here. It's a nice space. We have big facilities for the amount of rooms, plenty of space. I have space at the pool area probably for about 120 rooms. So nobody has to wake up in the morning and feel that pressure to run to grab their sunbed.
Γιατί το βλέμμα χαμηλώνεις και με κοιτάς τόσο θλιμμένα. Μη με λυπάσαι, μη βουρκώνεις. Πρέπει να φύγω από σένα. Κι αν σου μιλώ ακούς εκείνον, κι αν σε κοιτώ εκείνον βλέπεις. Καρδιά δε σου μείνε για μένα, όλα για εκείνον τα έχεις. Τώρα που φεύγω τι σε νοιάζει, τι θα απογίνω δεν πειράζει. Θα συνεχίσω τη ζωή μου, μα πάντα θα σε η πληγή μου.
Stay with me. We'll be right back.
Αϊ Νίκολα δώσε χάρη, ο βοριάς μη μας σε πάρει. Να γυρίσω, να θυμιάσω, το κάτι να σου να βρω. Μιας στο νερό και στο κουμάρο πήγαινα τα βράδια στο μπαρμπάκι χελιό. Είχα κύμα δυο πολυμεράκι που έπαιζε τσαμπουνά και χόρευα εγώ. Μπαρμπάκι χελιό, σε παρακαλώ, ανέβω τσαμπουνά και εγώ θα τραγουδώ.
Captain Stanis Romeos, captain of the Celestyal Olympia. This is a very nice size ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of tonnage, how big is it?
It's 30. It's almost 40,000 tons.
Yeah, not that we're going to lift it, but
yeah. I can make you understand the size. We can have 1,600 passengers, yes, plus 570 crew.
Wow.
Almost 2,000 persons on board.
How many feet long is it?
The ship is 214 meters.
214 meters, so that's about 650
right.
feet. Yeah, it's a beautiful ship, and it's really a perfect size for the passenger because, first of all, you don't need roller skates to get around the ship. Some ships are so big,
yeah,
you feel like you're walking the last mile, you know?
Right.
It's never ending. And to get from one end to the other is like an all-day affair, you know. But the other thing too is having the opportunity to see faces and meet people and see them again before the cruise is over. That often is a challenge on a much bigger ship.
A lot. You have to know that a lot of our guests, they are getting friends on board the ship.
Yes.
This is the size of the ship. You are feeling like a family.
Yes.
You can see the persons, almost all the passengers. On a big ship, sometimes you see faces and you say, oh, he was with us.
You know, it's funny you say that, though. It's an important point because there are people that we are still friendly with, that
right.
we met decades ago on cruise ships. In fact, there's a woman who owns an art gallery in Istanbul, and I forgot to bring her business card with me because I wanted to call her when we got to Turkey.
Right.
Even though we weren't in Istanbul, I wanted to give her. So now I have to wait till I go home to tell her I was close, but not close.
But I was not able to call you.
But we met those people. It must be more than 20 years ago.
Right.
And that's there's something special about being out at sea that tends to bond people in a way that. What is it? What is it about the sea that makes life experience different from being on land?
I don't know exactly, but I feel that is the iodium, is the air of the sea that makes you feel more romantic, makes you feel more friendly with other persons. I mean, maybe when you will be in the land and you will meet me, you will not say to me anything, or you just say good morning. Being on the ship, you will stay, we will speak, we will laugh together, you know. This is, I think, all the atmosphere is different.
Well, you know, you're absolutely right about that. That there is a seductiveness, a sensuousness about being at sea. The aroma of the salty air,
right,
and feeling the breeze with the salt mist on your skin.
Exactly.
You know, there's, especially then you add that you're in Greece and the views are amazing, and just everything about it is, you know, just adds to the charm of the experience.
Exactly.
As you're sailing. So if someone were coming to sail on the Celestyal Olympia, would there be a time when they'd have the pleasure to meet you?
Of course, there's the captain's cocktail, and tomorrow we have the presentation and the captain's cocktail, and of course we will go to have a dinner together tomorrow night.
Oh, very nice.
It would be my great pleasure to do it.
Well, you know, that it adds something to the trip. There is no question about it. So, you know, especially to know you're in very good, very capable, and very talented hands. But I think everybody who was in Mykonos watching that ship dock already knew that. Oh, I loved every minute. I want to thank you so much for making the time in your very busy day.
It was my pleasure to have you here.
Captain Stathis Romeos, what a pleasure. Stay with me, everybody. Where did the hour go? Come back next week. Gotta fly now. This must be the version for a giant of my book, Rumors. Rumors by Stephanie Abrams, filled with love and lust and lies, intrigue, secrets, and a whodunit. Check out your favorite online bookseller, Rumors by Stephanie Abrams.